My girlfriend's dad doesn't want her to marry me because I'm of a certain caste and only believes in arranged marriages. Me and my girlfriend have been dating for about 9 years now, high school sweethearts, and she has always kept our relationship low-key in terms of telling others about it in her family. We have been doing long distance for 5 years now and love each other very very much. She even came to meet me, halfway across the globe, for a little while without telling her parents because she knew they wouldn't approve. Her parents have a very backward mentality in terms of marriages and relationships. They believe that a person should not date anyone until marriage and should only marry the person they choose for you. But now, she thought of telling her parents that I am the person she potentially wants to marry in the future, because of which they should allow her to meet me once in a while and tell others in the family. Her mom and her grandmother took a while but eventually were quite okay with me as I'm doing pretty well in terms of academics and I'm decent looking. They have even spoken to me once and are open to the idea of us in the future. But here's the situation, her dad doesn't approve of us at all. He doesn't even want us to date. With my girlfriend explaining to him how much she loves me, how I am her happiness and she won't take no for an answer, he said we'll see whose opinion matter at the end of the day. Even her mom has not given her the permission to meet me even though she is discomfortable with me now. My girlfriend and I are in a pickle because of this. She is feeling really low and dejected as she thinks that her family doesn't think of her and her happiness and only think of their values and what they want her to do, and I'm also stuck between a rock and a hard place. I'm being criticized constantly and nitpicked on in her house to dissuade her from me, which is also ruining my self-esteem and mental health constantly. She tells me everything and we have full faith in our relationship. What do we do next? What should be our plan of action? I am really out of ideas and don't know what to do. Comment. I think your girlfriend has to make the decision here. Does she want to do what will make her parents happy and give up her chance for true love and romance, or does she want to stand up to her parents and risk her family so she can create the family she wants with you? I know this is very complex. I can't relate fully, but I felt similarly when it came to coming out to family I was worried will disown me. I could either live my truth and risk my family, or keep my family and risk being sad for the rest of my life. I wish you luck. This is really tough and I really hope she can get her love and her family. 22-year-olds are mature enough to live and to take independent decisions for themselves and by themselves. There are cultural and traditional norms that hinder this fact, and some parents would rather live in the mentality that since they brought their child into this world, they own them, and in turn knows what's best for them. You both can decide to live on your own without her parents' consent, but it would be something that your GF would not be alright with, since she might be brought up in a certain way that would heed their blessings. In the end, the decision is hers to make and yours to support. Your GF is right, her parents don't care about her, and will marry her off the first chance they get. If you guys want to love each other and move, then you should move out together. They will come around if she has kids, though I'd be worried about them imprinting their backward views on your kids. You can't choose your family, you can choose your husband/wife. Next story 2. How can I navigate my anxious attachment style and overcome my feelings of jealousy and insecurity in my relationship with the engaged couple? So, for context, I have been hanging out with and occasionally hooking up with this engaged couple who I have grown very close with. They always are happy to have me over and I feel extremely comfortable with them. They are happy to keep hooking up with me but also don't want to hold me back from a normal relationship with another guy should he come along. They are very affectionate to me and make me feel special and validated when I'm with them. Previously they have had quite a few similar people who they have hooked up with, but they have repeatedly told me that they've never been as close with any of them like they are with me, and that it's different with me. They both are the type of people who enjoy flirting with guys publicly as a bit of a laugh, but also when they see fit guys they like the look of, but they assure me that at the moment they wouldn't be looking for another guy to hook up with because they are more than happy with me being there until if I move on, and will be sad when if I do. And I'm very aware of how one of the people in the couple, let's call him Bob, is incredibly flirty with everyone, which is making me feel slightly anxious. Saw him on a TikTok live calling the boy handsome and cute while also being engaging and commenting loads because he thinks he is pretty, he told me. Also on dating apps he is increasingly active and I can only imagine the flirty stuff he is saying to everyone on there, which I've seen him do lots before. The only thing which gives me hope is that he has started ghosting my alternate account, but that easily could be because he knows it's fake, or he doesn't find it hot enough, or just is only after pics. Throughout my time of knowing Bob, he has always been commenting on attractive guys he sees on the street, as well as mentioning often how his previous regular partners have recently got in touch. While showing me Freddie's Snapchat pictures, he told me these pictures were from his story, which Bob could only have access to if he commented on each one, which he just has, making me feel like he has been flirty with him also. I assume he adds fit guys on Snapchat to talk to every now and then, as well as to arrange future hookups when the opportunity arises. However, this is just a pessimistic assumption. Bob has always messaged me really lovely, kind, and flirty things such as calling me gorgeous, beautiful, perfect, his sexy man, and at times even going as far as saying he loves me. The week we were away for a week abroad, Bob told me he loved me multiple times. This is quite far considering he is engaged and in an open relationship where I'm also close with his partner, who also tells me similar things. Obviously, I like hearing that he loved me and etc., but at the same time I can't help but feel he says it because it turns him on instead of an actual affection for me, but maybe I'm just paranoid. Currently, and particularly this week, I've been very conscious of Bob's messages to me, as I feel that since last weekend where we saw each other they have lacked something. I feel they lack effort or aren't very flirty as previous mentioned, and lack a genuine affection / specialization towards me, but instead just use the typical looking hot or sexy, which he calls every guy he finds slightly attractive. When I mentioned my concerns of feeling replaceable and just one of many, he assured me that he feels very comfortable around me and that I'm nothing like the other guys he's been with before. Admittedly, I'm quite insecure and anxious, so after some slight relief I began immediately doubting this message and assuming he is once again being disingenuous. However, he could very well be telling the truth and being meaningful. I guess overall my worry is that I feel he just speaks / flirts with me because we hook up sometimes and get along, not because he actually has deep feelings for me. I worry that I'm being used and will be replaced once he is bored and wants to bring in the new guy he's been flirting with, despite him saying I'm the only one for him. Ultimately, it's just who he is, someone who flirts and fancies a lot of guys, which is fine despite making me feel very jealous and insecure when he does bring it up to me. I just find myself feeling quite dejected and not enough for him sometimes, as well as fearing that he's just been using me and saying all these flirty things, which he potentially has been saying to every other guy he speaks to, just to get me to flirt back and give him my affection. When I mentioned this, he said I was a close friend, that's as close as family. When I just now asked him about his plans next weekend, normally he's quite keen to see and hang out with me, but when I tried asking if he's free next weekend, his response was nah, not doing anything, what would we do, and then I'm down to spend time with you. Looking at this now it seems quite positive, but when we were texting it felt like it was kind of an inconvenience for him to see me compared to older responses such as can't wait to see you, get here ASAP, and never want you to leave. When I do go back home, he often says miss you, which seems quite flirty. I do feel this issue is rooted in anxious attachment style, so it may be the key forward. I feel the majority of my issues here are rooted in my own insecurities and paranoid anxiety thoughts. I get so jealous seeing him flirt with other guys, even though that's his whole thing. Seeing him message that random guy on TikTok he thought was handsome really made me jealous and stung a little. Question: how can I address my feelings of jealousy, insecurity, and doubt in my relationship with this engaged couple while considering my anxious attachment style? I'm looking for advice on navigating these emotions and maintaining a healthy perspective moving forward. Comment: you're a temporary thing in their relationship. They're engaged. That's that. You're an extra fun thing for them. You're always going to be jealous and insecure in this thing because you're not a part of their actual relationship, and they'll always have their own thing with an extra. Move on, buddy. Try to live in the moment, rather than making big long-term plans with these new people that you're going to be in each other's lives romantically for the long haul. Trying to analyze the potential longevity of a relationship puts a ridiculous amount of pressure on you and the other people involved. The other two guys seem to understand this in the way they've spoken about how you might meet someone else in the future or move on. Try to stop second-guessing all the time what's going to happen. Some relationships last and some don't. Nobody really knows what the outcome will be going in, that's why love is a lottery. If it's making you that anxious, maybe cool it for a while and see other people / do something that takes your mind off of this relationship / hang out with your platonic friends until you're feeling less anxious.